are on lesson 7.5, and we have this thing called expressions. Expressions, how I like to define it, is a math sentence with no equal sign. It doesn't have an equal sign because it can have multiple answers depending on what you throw in there. Think of it like a plain cookie recipe. Okay, let's just call it a plain sugar cookie recipe. But what if you add chocolate chips in there? Then it kind of becomes chocolate chip cookies. Taking that same basic sugar cookie recipe, what if you throw in M&Ms in there? Then they become M&M cookies, okay? Expressions are kind of like this. And, and so expressions, they don't have an equal sign because it can have multiple answers. That's the long story short. Okay, we need to have some vocabulary. So, term. A term is a part of an expression. That's separated by symbols, such as part of the expression and it's separated by adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. Okay, such as this one. This is a term. This is a term. This is a term. So how many terms are here? There are 3. Okay. Like terms have the same letters, or they are just single numbers. For example, here, this one has 7x, and this one has 2x. Those are like terms because they both have x in them. All right. Going over here, I see an x, I see a y, and I also see an x. So I would combine the 2 x's together, and I would say those are like terms. How many terms are there total? I would combine those to make it 1, and I would have this one by itself, so those would be 2 terms. That's my opinion. Okay, and then this one has Z, and then this one is just a plain letter, so this is a term, and this is a term, so I'd consider that to be 2 terms as well. Okay, a coefficient is a number that's multiplied by a variable. It's a number that's multiplied by and it's usually a letter. A variable is going to be a letter that can change, such as the coefficient of y would be 7 because it's the number part. Okay, the coefficient of b would be the 6 because it's the number part. What would this one be? What would the coefficient? It would be the 3 because it's touching the z. This one has 2 coefficients. It has a 3 and a 4. It's not going to be your exponents. It's going to be the big number that's touching. This one has 7, and it also has 2. Okay. We'll get into this later, but anytime that there is not anything in front of a letter, there's going to be an invisible 1. Right here. Okay, so that coefficient, if you're getting technical, is a 1. All right, a constant is a number in an expression that is plain. It doesn't have any letters with it. It's a number with no letters. Okay, a constant is the thing that's always going to happen. It's not going to be changed by a letter, so this is the constant. It's the number without letters. Do we have any constants here? This one has a letter there, it has a letter there, has a letter there. This one doesn't have a constant. Looking at this expression, this is your constant. Looking at this one, this is your constant. Okay. A variable is your letter. A letter is something that can change. I like to think about like a party. Okay. Let me put a definition for variable. It's a number that can change. That can change. Usually represented by a letter. Okay. A variable is something that can change. Okay. I like to think of parties. Okay. You never know how many people are going to show up to your party. And so that can be letter X. X number of people are going to come to my party. However, for every guest that comes to my party, I'm going to allot them 2 cookies. So that that example would be X to the X times 2, or 2X, doesn't matter which order it is. So however many people come to my party, I'm going to let them have 2. So let's say 10 people come to my party. I'm going to have to multiply that by 2, and everyone gets, the total would be 20 cookies. Okay, let's just say 3 people come to my party. 3 times 2 would be 6. So then I just allot 6 cookies for the party. The variable is the letter that is flexible. It can change, and you can use the word flexible because we often use the letter X, and the letter X is inflexible. So where is the variable in this problem? It's the letter right there. The letter, the letter. There's lots of them in these examples. Anytime there's a letter, that is going to be a variable. That is going to be something that can change and affect the answer. Okay. Now we get to where this is going to apply to your lesson. Evaluate 7y minus 6b plus 8. This is your expression. Okay? But then if you look at the second line, y is equal to 3. So you need to cross out this y, and you need to put times 3 in its place. And b is equal to 2. So you need to cross out b, and you need to put times 2. Okay? When you do that, then you need to work out that example. So it would be 7 times 3 minus 6 times 2 plus 8. And then going off of our order of operations, 21 minus 6 times 2 plus 8, multiply 12. 21 minus 12 plus 8. Wow. 21 minus 12 plus 8. I'm going to be working with this one, and I think that's 9. 9 plus 8. My answer should be 17 if I worked it out. People don't always look at first line and then second line. Second line usually gives you all the answers to like put in the blanks in the variables. So make sure that you look for the second line and you try and find all those answers that are given to you. Okay. It says evaluate 3z plus 4 for x equals 7, I don't think that this x, I think that's supposed to say z. If z is equal to 7, I need to cross this out, and I need to put times 7. Anytime a letter is touching a number, that means to multiply. So I'm going to multiply these two, and I get 21. Sorry, my book just fell. 21 plus 4, my answer would be 25. Same here. Evaluate 7x plus 5 minus 2x, and x is equal to 6. I need to cross that out, and I need to say times 6. I need to cross this out and say times 6. 7 times 6 is 42 plus 5 minus, I have 2 times 6, which is 12. And I just go straight across. That is 47 minus 12. If I subtract that, I get 35. Okay, so these vocabulary words, way super important. Okay, we are on lesson 7.5, page 385, and we're talking about expressions, not equations, because equations have an equal sign. And as you can see, none of these problems that we're doing have equal signs, so they're expressions. Because right now, we can't find a total unless we give this letter a value. And on problem number 2 in your book, it says that C is going to be equal to 7. So we get to cross out this C, and we now get to put times 7, because any time a number is touching a letter, that means multiply. So now we have to do order of operations, which is PEMDAS. Okay, so are there any parentheses in this? No, there are not. Are there any exponents in this? No, there is not. Multiplication or division. This is not multiplication or division. This is multiplication or division. If I multiply these two together, I get 14. Rewrite my problem. Adding or subtracting, I have this, and my answer will be 3. Okay? I'll change colors. On number 4, we have h minus 3 squared. On number 4, it says that h is equal to the number 5. So I'm going to cross out this h, and I'm going to put a number 5, and then we're going to follow our order of operations. Do we have parentheses? Yes, we do. What's inside the parentheses is 5 minus 3, which is 2. And then rewrite the problem of squared. Do we have exponents? Yes, we do. This exponent is equal to 2 times 2, because you take the base and you write it that many times. 2 times 2 is 4. And we are done with number 4. Number 6, this is not the letter X, this is a multiplication symbol. I know that can be a little bit confusing. On number 6, it says h is equal to 5. So again, I'm going to cross out this h, and because the number and the letter were touching, that means multiply. And it said multiply by 5. We're going to do PEMDAS again. Parentheses, starting out with parentheses, and within the parentheses there are 2 terms. There's a subtraction and there's a multiplication. We know that we need to start with multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to rewrite my problem. Okay, we're still in the parentheses, and so we need to do what's inside those parentheses. 21 minus 15 is going to be 16, and whatever is left is multiplied. Oh, just 6. Sorry, just 6. 4 times 6 is now 24. Awesome. Number 8, you actually have 2 letters. It says that D is equal to 10. I'm going to cross this out and I'm going to put a 10. and it said K is equal to 9 times 9. Okay, we're going to do PEMDAS. There are no parentheses. Please excuse my dog. It's fun. Now we need to go to exponents. This is the only one that has an exponent. That is not 10 times 2. That is equivalent to 10 times 10, which is 100. I'm going to rewrite the rest of my problem. Okay. I don't have any parentheses. I don't have any exponents. Next is multiplication or division. This is not multiplication or division. This is multiplication or division. 9 times 9 is 81. Rewrite my problem. And then go from left to right, adding or subtracting. 19 plus 3. My answer is 22. Okay, we are now on your worksheet of 7.5. I am going to do number 1 on the front for you, with you, so that you know what is expected on 1 through 4. Number 5 through 7 is exactly what we did in your book. Okay, it's exactly how we did it. And then I'm going to do the first one with you on the back so you know what is expected. Okay, so starting with number 1 on the front, it gave you this expression. But if you read the instructions, it says that you have to find the values of 4 different numbers, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So on problems 1, 2, 3, and 4, you should have 4 different answers. Okay, so the first one, 13 plus 6x. The very first one that you should do is times 0, because I'm just going to go from lowest to highest. So times 0, multiplication is first, that would turn into 0. 13 plus 0, your first answer would be 13. Separate it by a comma. And then you have to go back to your original problem, which was 13 plus 6x. And now you have to change that x to a 1. So cross that out and put times 1. Multiplication goes first. This gets turned into a 6. 13 plus 6, this is now going to be 19. Okay, so I'm halfway done with problem number 1. Got to rewrite my problem again. 6x. Now we have to turn this x into a 2. Cross it out. Times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. 13 plus 12 is 25. Last problem on number 1. 6x. Have to multiply it by 3. Mark out the x times 3. This is now 18. 13 plus 18 is 31. That is your answer for number 1 on the front. You see how I did it 4 different times. Same base, same expression, I just changed the value of x every time. I started with 0, and then I went 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's what I expect on number 2, 3, and 4 as well. Remember 5, 6, and 7 is exactly like we practiced in our book. Now we're moving on to the back with the circles. I know that they look confusing. It's really not. You have an expression here at the top, and then it wants you to find the value of a, and it gives you 3 different values of a. Kind of like we did up here, we found the value of x 4 different times. This one wants you to do it 3 different times. You have the value of 2, you have the value of 3, and you have the value of 6. Then it gives you a multiple choice answer. Is it either A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D. So I blew it up big so you can see it here. On the back, honestly, there's 9 questions that you need to do. And I will just do the first one for you, then you have to do the other 8 questions. So here is my base, this is my expression, and it's telling me that A is equal to 2. So I'm going to mark this out, and I'm going to put times 2. I'm going to mark this A out, and since it already has a plus sign, I don't need to put a multiplication. I just need to change it to the number 2. Remember, you put a times 2 if a number is touching a letter, because that means multiply. And then you just follow PEMDAS, okay? Parentheses first, that would be 3 and 2 would turn into 5. I'm going to rewrite my problem down here. 8 times 2 minus 2, and it was touching the parentheses, and inside the parentheses turned to 5. Here is another fun thing that you might not know. If a number is touching parentheses, it also means multiply. Okay? So now we did multiplication, we don't have any exponents. We need to multiply or divide starting from left to right. Multiply, we have 16 over here, rewrite the problem. We're still on multiply, 2 times 5 is now 10. And I subtract those and I get 6. So, is that one of my choices? Yes. This is the one that I would circle. Okay? Remember, whatever's in here, that's what you have to change up here. You have to work out the problem, and then these are your multiple choices up here. So I'm not going to do it for you, but you have to change all of these 2's that used to be here now to 3's, and then you'll have your multiple choice answers. You have to do all of the front and all of the back on 7.5. Be amazing. Have a wonderful day. See you later.